Records, baby. Yeah. Bringing you the worst music in America. You know it. Hit me on Twitter at Mike Sean Radio. Yeah. I done been to IHOP. I done been to Waffle House. I done been to Diners too. I done been to Mama's house, but I swear nobody cook grits like you. Nobody cook grits like you. Nobody cook grits like you. Hey, 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 hey. Nobody cook grits like you. Nobody cook grits like you. It's 5 in the morning, still I'm snoring. She's making grits and eggs. She's making those grits. At 5 in the morning, we could only be about to eat 2 things. She's making those grits. Cholesterol is high, but them grits is on my mind. You cook them so good, I can't deny. A heart attack is worth the ride. You make me wanna be home all the time. You're cooking them grits with steak at night. Can't be cooked by no beginner. Grits make I winner. Them grits make me kiss her. Grits all on my plate. Got my stomach full. Got me feeling great. I gotta kiss her. Grits all on my plate. Got my stomach full. Got me feeling great. I done been to Cracker Barrel. I done been to Cozy Kitchen. I done been to Denny's too. Had some woman try to feed me, but I swear nobody cook grits like you. Nobody cook grits like you. Nobody cook grits like you. Hey. Nobody cook grits like you. Nobody cook grits like you. You better make the grits and make them right. I make you feel so good at night. If you make the grits and make them right, I make you feel so good at night. Just make the grits and make them right. I make you feel so good at night. We the worst record.
It's about to go down. Michael Sean and the Takeover Legend Morning Show is back Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Michael Sean, that's me. Jay Black, 6.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legend, where the truth hurts, but also makes you laugh.
Baby, tap in.
We the worst records, baby. We about to create a perfectly horrible song. Y'all know I've been in the gym, and now all I wear is tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts. Yes, I do. Michael Sean wears tight shirts. I wear tight shirts because I'm working out some. And if I wear the right size, you won't see none of my little cuts in my arms or whatever. Short sleeve tight shirts in any type of weather. People talking trans when they see me in the street.
Your shirt's so tight, we can see your heartbeat.
Man, clown me if you want, I'm sticking to my guns. And when the summer comes, it's gonna be fun. You can crack jokes and treat me like a jerk, but one day you'll see my 6-pack right through my shirt. And even if I wanted to, I just can't stop. I just might rock an Ezekiel crop top.
Whoa.
What? Did I take it too far? What?
Yes.
Whatever. Tight shirts in the morning at work and when I creep. I even wear tight pajama tops when I sleep. Tight shirts. Tight shirts. Yeah. Tight shirts. Come on. Tight shirts. Come on. Tight shirts. Come on. Tight shirts. Every day. My son wears tight shirts. To the gym or wherever. Tight shirts. Tight shirts. Tight shirts. Surprise, surprise. Hey. Surprise. We are on here on a Monday morning for this Monday and next Monday. Then it's back to normally scheduled programming, Tuesday through Friday. Dr. Aaron Smith is in the building, a.k.a. Fearless. I'm hoping against hope. I'm hoping against hope that Jay Black will join the show. But that's a stubborn motherfucker.
And he hasn't confirmed?
When he gets trapped in his schedule. Whoa. Jay, I'm going to send him a text. Let me, before I get to the good mornings and we get everybody, I'm going to say to Jay, we on. I said yesterday, today I said, we on. Wake up.
It's like calling San Diego, where in the world?
Jay Black. Wake up, Jay Black. So I got a surprise for him.
And I didn't want to ruin a surprise by saying I had a surprise.
Yeah, sometimes and sometimes when the surprise isn't what they thought, then it could be like, anticlimactic. Like, you got a surprise for me?
Yeah.
And be like,
what you got? We got a
I
deal.
think they get in the car or something. They be like, you got it? You got it? It's like,
we got a podcast deal. You struck a deal. What? We on deal.
I got a surprise for you. Jump on the show. Yeah, you might think it's a big check,
And I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm trying not to ruin the surprise. And I wanted to move the surprise to Tuesday, but the surprise was like, I can get that on Monday. And I said, I'm going to take it while I can take it.
Yeah, you got to take a surprise. Yeah.
Should I said, Jay, wake up.
If you schedule it, it really ain't really a surprise in essence,
For me,
you gotta take. But I'm saying you gotta take it when you can take it.
Like when you had Emmy come on the show, I was surprised. You
and I took you, and I can take it too, because it wasn't like she said whenever she said then I can cuss. Well, then that's what we got to do.
Then that's what we got to do.
Take your surprises when you can get them.
Surprise.
Can't schedule yourself out of a surprise. Let me check my schedule for the surprise. That surprise conflicts with my Tuesday. I can't do surprise on Monday. I can't do. Can you do August? Can you surprise in August?
Can you do right after Labor Day or later? After Labor Day, are you open? All right, Miss Parker's in the building. Good morning, Miss Parker. How you doing, Mom? I hope your weekend was good. This is the first time I can say how was your weekend, and it was really the weekend. Damn. Hope everyone had a great weekend. My weekend was A-okay. I'm gonna tell you some shit that let you know how handy I'm not. Mrs. Parker saying, "What's up to everybody?" Shelly, how are you? Kirsten, KT, because one day we're gonna meet and you're gonna be like, you say my name wrong one more time. Shelly in the building. Wait till everybody starts scurrying on. Afro Queen, what up? Miss Parker saying, "Good morning, Miss Parker." Ashabu is in the building. So why I do this? How was your weekend there, Dr. Smith? How was your weekend?
Weekend was nice. I went to Cash. We have something called the Cash Mob event for WRD. Doing it today as well. I'll be on at 1:00. But yesterday we had a big meeting, fundraiser, like whole telethon, event where we've been raising money.
Are you on the board of that too? You on the board?
No. I just, I still come on the air, for big events. I used to do the morning show on WRD, but they're raising $20,000 for WRTI, and we're just talking about the importance of the station and everything. Black media, especially in a time like this where they're shutting down exhibits in the DC Museum and curriculum in schools. Like the voice is important. So community came out, a lot of different people came out as guests. Like, we're circulating guests every 15 minutes. So that was a great event, and we're going to finalize that today. Church was dope. I did another event though. I went to something else. Oh, I had a scholarship luncheon, Phi Beta Sigma, the Pi Gamma Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
I gotta interrupt you. Everything you do, I feel like I'm 18 years old and you're the grown up on the show. Like I'm really starting to feel.
Okay, went to a luncheon.
I'm really starting to feel like I gotta mature my social life. Like I really gotta start doing stuff outside of. But go ahead.
The only thing older or more mature than luncheon is a cabaret. I didn't go to a cabaret, like, but that's when that's a lot of AARP cards.
Yeah, I do I perform for cabarets.
A lot of linen suits, a lot of hard bottoms.
I did a
fundraiser. Luncheon was nice. A scholarship luncheon. Gave some young people some checks for $500 a piece, and welcomed them, and encouraged them as far as their education and all this different stuff. So that was nice.
God, this guy is he's a mover and a shaker. He don't just talk this. He don't talk this changing thing. He don't talk this. He does it. He lives it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked, because what usually happens, Mike. A lot of those events happen, but people aren't at those events, so they'll see these groups at like step shows, or they'll see the young people in the groups throwing parties. They don't understand why African Americans stay in their organizations their whole life. African Americans don't say things like "I was in a fraternity in college," like some white people do, because it's a big difference. It's a whole lifestyle culture thing. But they don't see the luncheons. They don't see the clothing drives. They don't see the cleanups. So they just be like, "Man, you wearing that shirt, man? You in that fraternity?" It's like, yo, like we actually doing a whole lot of great work all around the world. But unless somebody asks you what you do this weekend, they don't see me until I'm yelling, and doing some, reminiscent type school days vibe.
I think that, and I don't want to get down that whole topic. I think that is the point that people miss, and I'm victim of it. When I critique fraternities and sororities, and I critique certain things about it. And then when people give me, and I'll say how I take it, the spiel on what they do in the community, and then when I see you doing it, I realize that it's not a spiel, and it's not just something to cover up things that may be controversial. That is actually, it's being done, and what you actually need is more support from people to take part in these things. Am I reading that correctly?
Oh yeah, especially when people join the graduate chapter. You got to think, if somebody's joining an organization when they're like 46, it's because they believe in the organization and they always want to be part of it. It's not because they want to go back to campus and join the step team and, you know, get girls or anything like that. Like, especially when you're in a grad chapter, we're not in school anymore. So the whole point of what we're doing is really just coming together and doing all the other parts that you don't see. We're not throwing a bunch of parties. We're not going to step shows, you know. 9 times out of 10, I'm saying there are graduate step shows, but my main point, especially at this age, you know, are the founding ideals, and people are really trying to help.
Right. Y'all not getting together and just being like, that's not what it is for.
But that's the beauty of it. It's like when Takeover Legends get together. It don't even matter what we're doing. It's always going to be us vibing. So we might as well be doing a podcast. We might as well be doing work because we're going to have our fun anyway. You know what I mean? And that's how a lot of people take it. Like just getting together is the fun. So I expect Jay Black to, you know, jump on because, you know, you don't want to miss the fun. So I want to.
Hey, you got your cell phone next to you?
I do.
Text him. Say, come on, Jay. I think Mike got a surprise for you, but he don't want to tell you. So at least if the surprise is ruined, it's because you ruined it. Like, I'm just telling you right now. I'm snitching. I'm telling you right now. I'm just and the audience is a surprise for y'all too. That's why I'm trying to wait for y'all to gather. I'm trying to wait for everybody to gather up in here. Asha Boo, what up? What up? What up? What up? Shelly. All right. So this weekend, I really didn't do much. Good morning, my dear Darren Smith. Trendsetter, what up? Professor Smith and to take over the grind. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we'll be here next Monday too. And then we at it. Trend morning. Nikki White Chocolate, who's in them streets driving again. Go ahead, Nikki White Chocolate with the driver's license. Then crack the code and back in the beep beep. I don't need, you know what? I'm glad you got it, but I got a funny feeling you're an aggressive driver. I don't know why. I got a funny feeling you're kind of aggressive. What goes on? Let me see. Jeanette, man, come on, call your sibling. What's really good? Call your sibling. Get him on here. I'm trying to surprise him. I'm trying to give him a surprise. Motherfucker. Get on here. What the fuck? Miss Parker, that's awesome. Oh, yeah, Miss Parker. That is your Miss Parker. Damn, I don't want to mess this up, Miss Parker, but y'all used to be messing it up. Is it your nephew, your grandson, who runs track? Who hit the podium and did very successful? Congratulations, Mike Fearless, TOL family. Good morning. Damn, it's Tuesday. No, it's not Tuesday. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. We got 2 straight Mondays, Coco. 2 straight Mondays. Hey, girl. Rashida, I'm glad you guys are back together. I miss my radio family. Well, thank you. Those are some good old days. Those are some fun days.
That's why I stopped radio. I told people it wasn't fun anymore. You know, I stayed on the radio after Mike left the station, and I was there for a while, and you know, we were doing some great work and great, you know, programming, but it wasn't fun. Like I remember thinking, if I'm gonna work, I might as well just go back to school and go to work. Like, plus Mike, they used to. I don't know. I told you this. You know, well, a lot of people did this. They used to prepare for the breaks.
Mm-hmm.
What they were gonna say, and I never forget. Like, you know, I used to come in, we'd talk, you know, we'd all joke, and then we'd hop on and start the show. Sometimes Mike would be like, "Yo, calm down, quiet down, I'm about to start the show." Like, you know, let's be professional. Let's get started. Sometimes we'd be like, you know, people, they got the food in there. Like, yo, keep the food in the other room. Let's, you know. But then we do it. We start the show, right? You know, it'd be like 3 or 4 of us in the room, right? Jay Black or Envy, right? And I remember one day I came in and they were like handing out like worksheets. And they were like, "Yeah, here, Fearless. This is what you're gonna say." And after it's like a play. After I say Toyota, tell it, then you're gonna go to. Yo, I looked around and I was like, "This is what we." I didn't say nothing because I'm, you know, low man on a totem pole. But I remember thinking, "This is what we doing." Like every break, I gotta study and catch a cue. And they were really doing that. They would be like, "And then wouldn't that be fun?" And they look at me because we weren't streaming back then. It was all on the air. So they, you know, we can and they point at people and I was like, wait. and they'd be like, y'all didn't do this, you know, and I'd be like, never. Like for years, Mike has never said, I'm going to say, unless it was something we were talking about that was really funny off air, and he'd be like, hold that thought.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. Like, let me, like, that's the type of, but it would never, Mike would never go, after I say take over legends, and I'm gonna say okay, and then you say yeah. Like, I mean, I did it for like almost a year, and it, you know, good people, but
The
it just
reason,
wasn't organic.
the reason why I had y'all in the room was because I liked your personality and your thoughts, and I like. So my thing was,
it was vibes.
yes, in my head, I had a plan. Like I had somewhat of a plan. I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna take it here, and then I'm gonna let them do what they do. When they start giving you a piece of paper like a script to read, at that point, what are y'all doing here? What are we doing?
And it wasn't every day, because I guess it was to get started. You know, eventually I'm sure people get more chemistry and stuff. I don't think they understood the fact that we always had that though. Like we didn't. It wasn't a period of growing and learning. It was like we all came in there and vibed naturally. Like the kids, we talk about vibes all the time. Everybody just vibed. We didn't have to work to do it. So, you know, I'm sure after a few months they probably put the papers away. But I was.
So let me tell you what I found out from somebody who was in the meetings in the front. Even though the ratings were great that we were doing and everything like that. And
great.
Ratings,
didn't we get the number one a couple times?
And the ratings were ridiculous. And we were on a station at the frequency.
We had no signal.
We had no signal, and we were like doubling the station. But let me tell you, they said, I heard in a meeting, I don't get him. I don't get him. I don't. Now, it didn't matter that the city got me.
Yeah.
But they actually said, I don't get him. I don't get why that's funny. We did a song called, I forget what song it was. And I forget what the original song, but we did a song, I live in a cage. I live in a cave. I have no lights. I build a fire. And it was the dumbest shit ever. But I actually did it in the club while they were playing. It was a hit song. It was a song, and I forget what song.
Oh, a parody of a hit.
It was a parody of a hit. And they were like, I don't get it. And the dude who was in the meeting said, yeah, but it's funny. Like he actually does it in the club. When the song comes on, he sings his version. Like they didn't get why we played Al Green at the end of the show to say goodbye.
And, like people used to get mad when we didn't. They were like, yo, y'all gotta play the song.
It got to the point we played Al Green at the end of the club, and everybody knew it was a rap, and people would still sit there and sing, I am so in love with you. And you can't, when somebody doesn't get it and actually doesn't see the vision, and because they don't understand it, which is, you know, this is like a metaphor for what this country's always struggled with. Because you don't get it, you refuse to try and understand that this is what the masses want, and this is what they relate to it. And ignorance is ignorance, but hey, that is what it is. Because I got a lot of stuff I got to talk to you about, a lot of clips. I got some fun stuff.
And I don't know if you saw Ray Daniels this weekend. There's a blockbuster interview that hasn't went viral yet, but it will. It's a full-length interview with music executive Ray Daniels. And he made he made a bunch of crazy, like, insightful comments in terms of like giving up the game. Everybody should watch that interview with Ray Daniels. I'll get the title, but
I saw some of it.
Yeah, because people chopping up that interview, you know, everywhere this whole weekend. But he said something about, you know, realizing that he don't get it and moving out the way. Because he said something in one of the clips. He was like, "Then I'm just old, and I'm just dying." So, like, you know, basically like, y'all got it. I'm not hating on y'all. But if this is what it is, and I'm not understanding it or I'm not feeling it, he knew, and he said that's why I left the music game. You know, like he didn't say it has to stay my way. He talked about all the big executives not being in the game anymore. But you're right. If you don't get it, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be received by anybody. Like nobody should get it because you don't get it.
And Rashida asks, is this when the head of programming changed? Absolutely. But because every time they change somebody in programming, they realized, they looked at the numbers and said, just let them go. What one dude was just like, look, on your bonus song, just play whatever song you want. Just go. Just keep going. He knew I knew what I was doing. Why I knew what I was doing, I have no idea.
Well, if you didn't know, it was working.
Yeah, it was working.
Because you might not have known. If they came to you and you couldn't explain it, that didn't matter either. You could have been ODB of the Wu-Tang Clan. You could have been like, yo, what's the formula? Whatever.
Whatever. That's what his. Nikki said, I love when you used to sing Al Green at the end of the show on the radio. You used to 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 4 back to the 1. I still sing it like that to this day. Thank you, Nikki. They hated that. We had a whole meeting.
About Al Green?
On the song that I play at 10 o'clock before we sign off.
Not NWA? That it was Al Green
No,
problem?
Al Green.
Who fights when they hear Al Green? That's a great song to play at the end of the club. That reduces violence in the
but
city.
at the end of the show, we would play it we would get off at 9:55. I'd play the song and we'd be out by 10. And they literally had a meeting. I'll just say it. Kobe and Helen Little had a meeting with me to tell me how it didn't hit the demo. Great music hits every demo. And when you include a sing-along where I could have literally, everybody was singing. It was a bit. And the bit worked. Not only that, they got to hear a song in the club at the end of the night to chill people out. I was a peacemaker and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, because I think about the city now, and I think about the rate of, some of the things we wrestle with in terms of major cities, like every major city in terms of violence and everything like that. Yeah, that song definitely made a good impression on the city, being played every night. Every night, we signed off with a peaceful, loving message.
Look, Randy Rick want to start early. Randy Rick on fire. He said, you guys might want to start a GoFundMe to get Aaron grown up.
That's a good one. That was a good one. I like that.
That I mean, that's he got the sip.
But let's talk about it.
But Ray Daniels, I love Ray Daniels saying that. Yeah, it became corny every week. There was an announcement saying that they had a big announcement and it wasn't big. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, when they started changing everything? Is that what you're talking about?
They changed morning shows. Like they only had one morning show technically, but two. I'll give Rush Parr. Rush Parr's a legend, and Jonesy. That was it.
But we played morning show chairs, musical morning show
Kobe's
chairs.
making a lot of money. He's a big wig at Radio. He's making a whole lot of money. Yeah, he's vice president. He's super done his thing. He's done his thing. So I'm just saying we didn't. But the Ray Daniels thing, when you don't get something, this is what I always say. They were artists that I would admit I didn't get, but I knew that everybody messed with them.
Still a hit.
I didn't get it. So what? I don't get. Listen, one of the biggest global artists in the world is The Weeknd. I have never been able to listen to more than once. I downloaded the album.
Yeah, I didn't do the whole album on the weekend. Yeah, I could do a song.
I just did it because I was like, when I said, what am I missing? I'm not missing anything. It's just not for me. But he's dope. The consensus says he's dope. So let it ride.
I can give you some real controversial names if you want to go down that route. I don't want to get the listeners stirred up.
No, I've tried to do this for years. I tried to say, name me a song or an artist.
I'll name you a classic group right now.
Hold on.
I'll offend some people.
Hold on. This is what I've been saying for years. Name me a group of artists that you know is legendary, but you just didn't rock with them. So go ahead. I'll let you start, Aaron.
Outkast.
Oh, wow. I love Outkast.
I love them, but
I think Andre 3000 is top. I don't have a top 5 in my favorite.
I don't doubt nothing you're saying. Just like what you just said. I don't doubt nothing you're saying. I don't doubt the legendary status. I don't doubt the ability. I don't doubt the consistency for great creativity in terms of like album for album. They can compete with most groups, like because the whole albums were. But if you ask me, different conversation, right? The question is, did I ever sit and say, "Yo, put that Outkast in"? I need to listen to that Outkast album. No, I never did.
I just started going back and listening to Andre 3000, and Big Boy is nice. I just started listening, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't think there's a lot of rappers who should be on songs with him.
Oh, he's different.
I think to me, the elite 1%, I have a verse that I got off of TikTok, and I went and I found it, and I play it in the morning time when I'm driving to work. Because I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, this is nuts. But that's a perfect example. That's a perfect example to what I'm talking about. That's a perfect example.
Sorry, Miss Jackson was number 1. I just was never bumping it. I respected it. I thought it was one of the best songs out. I thought it was clever. It was witty. The whole rain in the video was amazing. Everything. They were doing it. They were on top. For me, did I turn it up? Did I run to the TV? Did I ever buy an Outkast album ever in life? No, not a single, nothing. So I'm just saying, I can, like you said, I can sit back and be like, yo, the South do got something to say. They are killing it for them. I'm just not in that wave.
Trent said it. That's what happens in this game. They change. They change. People. They when back in the day when radio programming, when programs would change, they would think they wouldn't. Not all, but they wouldn't look and see what was working. They would decide how they were going to put their imprint. But back to this. Here, I'll give you one. There's certain artists that like Outkast, like for you, that I respected. All right, this artist, I'm not saying I didn't get, but this artist, I never took the time to listen. So I was like, I don't get why this guy's a superstar. And it's Tupac. I didn't get Tupac till about...
No, a lot of people.
I didn't get Tupac till about 5 years ago when I was chilling. I was going to the gym a lot. And I was listening. No, let me stop lying. It was a stint in rehab. That's where it started. And I had nothing but time on my hands. And I had the headphones and I listened and that's when I started going. I said, oh shit, that was my bad. I missed out. So this might be a bad example because people kept saying he was really about his passion. He wasn't lyrical. He was really about his passion. And then when I listened, I said, y'all don't know what lyrical is. Y'all think flipping big words and flipping rhyme flows is what lyrical is. He was lyrical. Matter of fact, real quick, name me an artist, a song, a group that you just don't get, but you know are the truth. You know they're dope. Because if I go old school, remember I'm 54 years old. Listen, I loved every hook that this guy had, every hook on his songs. I never got Curtis Blow, but I understand he's a pioneer. I loved all his hooks. If I ruled the world,
well, there was really nothing else for me. So I got Curtis Blow because that was the only thing really to get at the time. I remember like I had the Basketball 45.
I know I took y'all back. I took y'all back. Who else? Who else is somebody that I know is dope? But I simply don't get. Let me think. Somebody who I know is dope.
Well, I had an experience like you when it came to NWA, Mike.
Oh, and
when it first came out, I was like Jerry curls, and I was so East Coast. I'm Ray Daniels actually said something similar to what I said. I don't know if you caught the thing where he said about New York not giving other artists props, the whole Jay-Z Bow Wow thing. And he said he's from New York originally. I remember me and you had that whole debate about New York and that whole New York blind spot, like Pimp C, like, yo, New York don't play our songs and all this. But I was, from New Jersey, so close to New York that I was part of that bias wave where when somebody came out talking different, looking different, I was like, nah. It took me a lot to even hear what you were saying through like a Southern drawl or a West Coast. Like really I was one of them. I was one of them. Rappers are from New York. And my whole life, rappers are from New York. And when they came out with Jerry Curl, I was like, you might be good, but
Diggable Planets, Trendsetter said, Random Rick said KRS-One. Wow. You already know KRS-One is my
most
favorite
of mine are
rapper
regionally biased. I might as well say that off the bat before I get any, because I would name Too Short. I keep going. Like people who weren't from the area.
Listen, till I was in a car at 2:00 in the morning, right? Till I was in a car at 2:00 in the morning, being up to no good. And the dude had an incredible system in his car. His whole back seat was nothing but speakers, which was very uncomfortable because you couldn't lean back.
That's funny.
Until he played Straight Outta Compton, which I had seen the video and turned the video off many a time. When that videos would come on, I would go make a sandwich. When I heard that song in his car, I literally said, what is this? And he looked and said, what do you mean, what is this? He said, NW. I said, this is NWA?
It's the West Coast West Coast Public Enemy. They probably looking like, yeah, this is it. This is the message in the music.
That was my bad. But once again, that's a bad because look, here I'll give y'all one. I wasn't a huge Freddie Jackson fan because I thought Freddie Jackson. Honestly, for me, Freddie Jackson was a low budget Luther. That was me. But he had
a lot of people. I think Luther did that to a lot of people. Peebo Bryson, Alexander O'Neal. That's a whole different conversation. The way Luther overshadowed, a couple eras, there was a lot of people who could really sing, but they weren't Luther. But Luther's a once in a lifetime talent.
No, Luther just had a space.
Yeah, he was once in a lifetime. You don't get another Luther. They're the only one. So
like he just sounded.
But imagine coming out when he was coming out, talking about something. Yeah, we need you to sing a song like this guy, this other new guy. and you're Peebo Bryson, you're Alexander O'Neal, you're all these people trying to compete. E40.
I didn't get E40
for shizzle, manizzle, never. No offense to the Bay, like
I didn't, and I respect.
Yeah, people from there is like, what?
No, E40 is a legend. This is no.
How dare you?
No disrespect. But like it was like listening to a whole nother language.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
And the beats, like the West Coast beats, were totally different.
Yeah, the whole hyphy movement. Plus, if I'm not in a club dancing like that, yeah, you're right. Even musically, it's another language. The lyrics are another language, and the music's another language because that's not the way we were moving. If we're doing the WAP and the hyphy beats, the bass beats come on from that it doesn't do it. You can't WAP to this. I can't get jiggy to this.
But even with Kendrick, the only reason I'm able to rock with Kendrick when he's on a heavy West Coast track is because of being exposed to the West Coast with the Dre's and the Snoops and the Ice Cubes and that, because those beats be so, though they are such a regional creation.
Yeah.
Like
the whole P-Funk era, Warren G and all that, regulating,
a song like Peekaboo, like those beats, I know that's not a West Coast thing, but those beats are something I wasn't used to 15 years ago. But there, if y'all got,
and honestly, E40 is responsible for that as well, because one of the biggest songs that had probably arguably the most similar beat to the song you're referencing with Kendrick is "Tell Me When to Go." Because that's when hyphy went worldwide, when they would ghost ride the whip, tell me when to go, tell me when. So when you hear Peekaboo and they doing a similar, that similar bounce, the first time I really got with that, I have to credit "Tell Me When to Go," #1 song by E40.
Facts.
Yeah, so I it's part of my program now, like you said. So when I hear it done, I'm like, oh, I know what this is. I've been here before.
Redman.
Yeah, Tupac's not as technical. That's the word that I usually tell people to explain it.
Hold on.
People confuse lyrical and technical.
I don't get Redman hype, and I don't like him rapping with me.
I've heard people say that. I'm from Jersey, so I get it.
That is the best duo in hip hop.
I get Redman hype. I totally get it. No, but I've heard other people say
Meth and Red were literally put together by God when it comes to music. They are the perfect. They are Michael and Scotty. They're LeBron and Dwayne Wade. They're Kobe and Shaq. Like
two sides of the same coin.
Like I'm like, whoo. Like,
but I've heard people say because of the fact that even like Prodigy, when he was dissing Redman, talking about people talking about how much weed you smoke and all this outer space stuff. I heard people not give Redman his credit as a rapper because he's not doing the Public Enemy message or doing all the technical, entendres. The fact that he is on the vibe he's on, he doesn't get the credit he gets as a lyricist, especially Redman.
Yeah, I remember the rumor about Ref and Meth. I don't remember that rumor. All right, Afro Queen, right, nigga? Yeah, Coco. But hey, that's part of the topic for a quick moment. Just wanted to put that out there. But man, Phyllis brought it up. We can talk all day about music. Let me get to these. Let me get to this. Let me get to this. Ice. You see the title.
We went from Tupac to Peebo Bryson.
Somebody say Peebo Bryson? Did somebody say that?
I thought that's what you said, Peebo Bryson. Who'd you name?
Oh no. Let me get to
when you said the R&B guy. You said Peebo Bryson, right?
No, Freddie Jackson.
Oh, you want to hear something funny? You know why I just said Peebo Bryson? Quick funny story. I went and got a haircut, right? I let my hair grow a little bit because my hairline was like back there, right? And then my barber was like, "Yo, man, we getting older now. You up here looking like Peebo Bryson," because my hairline was different when I was younger. So I was laughing, and then at one point he said, "He talked about I was back home, Montclair, New Jersey. Shout out to Jake Turner, Boo, my barber." And he was like, "Yo, man, you might as well come on home." And I said, "Yeah, I'm planning on coming to Jersey. I applied for a couple of jobs in New Jersey," and he just stopped me, like, he swing the chair. And he looked at me, and said, "No, come on home." And he wiped his bald head. He was saying, "Give it up." And everybody in the shop started cracking up. And I was like, whoa. I thought he was geographically telling me to relocate. He was like, "Bro, it's time for you to face the facts." And just he was like, take a razor to that thing, man. It's not as hard as it looks.
Wait a second.
It was hilarious. But that's why he called me Peebo Bryson, because my hair. Subconsciously, it was on my mind. He said, "I said Freddie Jackson." I said, It's like those movies where you see somebody else, you see your ex, it ain't your ex. You be like, that's my ex-girlfriend. It's like, Mike, what are you looking at? That's not her.
Oh,
everywhere I look, I'm hearing Peebo Bryson now. See, I'm haunted. I said, didn't you say that, Mike? Mike said, I didn't say Peebo Bryson.
I didn't see Peebo Bryson.
Why you got Peebo Bryson on the brain? But go ahead. You were saying ice.
He got PTSD. Listen. All right, let's get it. We got fake ice going around the city picking up people. Fake ice is
alerted the public with a social media post Wednesday. We're aware of reports that individuals alleging to be law enforcement or ICE agents have approached some in our community. Carvalho says all 3 incidences were not on school property.
A bus driver who was at that point driving an empty bus, who came across someone who flagged them down, flashed a badge identifying themselves as an ICE agent. And the bus driver did what they were trained to do, closed the door and drove away. We do not believe that individual was an ICE agent. Usually these operations are not conducted by a single individual.
ICE told us in a statement, ICE strongly condemns the impersonation of its officers or agents. This action is not only dangerous, but illegal.
We've seen cases across the country of impersonators.
Where are you from, Mexico?
This South Carolina man was arrested for impersonating an ICE officer and confronting a Latino man in a pickup truck. There was a second arrest at Temple University. Parents we talked to were in shock that it could be happening here too. ¿Sí? Claudia Ramos says she's warning her kids.
Sí, tienen que tener cuidado.
She says you have to be very careful because there's a lot of people who have bad intentions.
So listen, the ethnic cleansing is continuing in America, and hey, it's getting worse and worse. Here's another one. This is just more of the travesty and the kidnapping. Wait a minute. Jesus.
Get off, guys. You're obstructing a federal arrest. Obstructing a federal arrest. Get on the ground. We're within Get back. Get back. Get back. Stop fighting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Hey, arrest us. Hey,
so I've seen more and more going on across the country, and I've seen the tension getting to where it's inevitably going to go. Because as you can see, it takes 5 of them to try and grab one dude, and people are starting to get frustrated and things. And I'm not saying nothing. I don't want YouTube it. There's going to come a point where if you're going to take me, and I think you're taking me to a country that I don't know where you're taking me to, in some foreign country, that people are going to say, fuck it.
Oh, no, yeah. There's a viral video where a guy said we got to treat them like kidnappers and never go to the second location. I don't know if you saw that when the guy's in the car. He said the same way. I saw it on Oprah the first time back in the day where she was like, we dealing with safety. She said, never go to the second location. Your chances of getting killed and all that and bad things happening exponentially increase. So if they were saying, what do you do if somebody puts a gun to your head in the parking lot? And the lady was like, then they got to kill you there. You're on cameras. You're in public. That's your best chance to live. You're already in a terrible situation. Don't try to negotiate your safety by going to the second location, because that's how you end up in the side of the road or a swamp or chained to a radiator in the basement.
And you're not the only person, and we are not the only people thinking this. And Haitians are now the target. Now, of course, there's over 500,000 white immigrants all over this country illegally that are roaming, but we don't see any of that. But one black man got out the gym and said he had enough, and he had a few things to say.
No, bro. No.
Stop, Patsy!
Listen, and this ain't on no bullshit, y'all. I had to leave out the gym in the middle of my motherfucking workout because God put this in my spirit. Black people, I need y'all to listen to me, and I need you to listen to me clearly. Trump just removed visa status for over 500,000 Haitians. Now, hear me out. I know we've been saying this ain't my fight. We sitting back. We not doing anything. We chilling out. We can't sit this out. We can't sit this out. We have to stand with them. We have to fight for them. I'm going to tell you why. This right here Up until this point, Trump has been testing out a lot of shit. He's been testing out the whole bombing with the Iran situation. That's the wartime powers right there. He's been testing out getting rid of affirmative action. He's been testing out deporting black and brown people. He started with Hispanics, okay? Now, we may think like, okay, this is the Haitian community. Of course he's going to get rid of the Haitians. You know, they are black. They are us. And oftentimes, a lot of times, these ICE people, they can't decipher who's Haitian, who's not. What happens when they just label one of us Haitian? It's easy to do. We look Haitian. This is a test. If Trump can get away with the removal of our black brothers and sisters, Haitian or otherwise, African or whatever, and we do not stand up, what's going to happen when he says, let's get rid of the niggas too? What's going to happen when that order comes over the line and they start going into these black communities, raiding our communities, and start escorting us to fuck off this land into places that we don't even fucking belong? What is happening right now is he is trying to flip this whole thing so that we are literally slaves again, so that we depend on them for survival, so that we don't have opportunities like we have right now to free talk and speech and uphold democracy and shit. This is a test. We can't let them come after our Haitian brothers and sisters. I don't give a fuck what no black person tries to tell you or talk about, because this right here is a fucking test right here. And I don't know why it rose up in my spirit this way. I'm telling you, black people, listen to your spirit. God is telling us something and he's giving us signs. This right here, we can't let happen. Adol, I just saw a clip where a whole bunch of black people were standing together because ICE had raided, starting to take black people, and black people are fighting.
So that's where we're at. And
no, I love that scene though, because I knew for a long time that people who have already been in bondage, you know, on this soil in recent memory, were not going to behave like other people, because I've spoken to people who, you know, come from Africa and the Caribbean, and I know the propaganda people get when they get their citizenship. And I know why they think that when they get here that we're lazy. I know why they stay away from us. I've heard the negative propaganda that separates people and makes people think that America didn't do nothing wrong and the black people just didn't figure out how to maximize the opportunity, and they don't get the history lessons about everything from slavery to Jim Crow to lynching to, you know, redlining. So I know what the division is. So but I also know that the reason why they brought in these buffer classes, whether it's Dominican Republic or whether it's in the South with Asian Americans like in Sinners or other people from the Caribbean, is because we have the memory. You can't play with us because we know you. We know what you did. You can go get somebody else and get a brand new girlfriend, a brand whatever partner in the world, and you can lie to them. You can go to Trinidad, you can go to Poland, you can go and lie to them and tell them, I don't know what's wrong. I mean, they just tripping. Look at I'm in the corner. You closed down the factories, you drugged them, you forced to sterilize them, they couldn't have babies, you didn't give them part of the GI Bill, Social Security. Like, no, don't do that. You can't do it to us. You don't talk to them. Right? That's what you do with your side chicks, right? You never want them to talk to each other and compare notes, right? So when they started going around the world like a player, a colonizer, and lying to people about the American dream and what this history was, they had to make sure that people never came and talked to your original boo that you did dirty. So when they come to black people playing them games, we don't care about the badge, we don't care about the guns, we don't care about the status, because whatever you was wearing before, we was fighting you. When we had no weapons, we was fighting you. And we know exactly who you are and what you are. And I knew for a fact, if they ever tried that with us, ICE agents are going to be one of the most dangerous jobs in America in the next few days. Let them get to Chicago with these YNs. I guarantee you, one of these young boys is going to take out about 5 of them. One of these 15-year-olds, King Vaughn type, cold-hearted killers that are in the community right now causing havoc with the switches, let that scene give them an opportunity to get some target practice. And I promise, we'll be talking about it, just like I said with the false flag. You're going to see somebody, I think his age is going to be between 15 and 17. He's going to kill more than one ICE agent. And I'm going on record saying it because I've talked to these people. I've been to the jails. They are not afraid. They are not playing. They already felt like they've been done dirty.
All right, let me get this straight. I messed up my camera, as y'all can see.
It's not the angle.
It's the H. I know it happened.
The dimensions, right?
So I got to go to the settings. So give me a minute before before we bring our guest up.
Oh, you got a guest? Okay.
That's
a surprise for you.
Son of a bitch! Why did I touch this motherfucker? Something told me not to touch this. Sorry,
well, Mike. I know you caught the fact that in the first story you played, they said that one of the students was from Temple University.
Yes.
Yeah, we were one of the first. When the first 2 stories came out, Aiden Stiegelman, he's 22. That was his name. He got charged impersonating the public servant. And he went to the dorms. He went to a restaurant near the dorms. They thought it'd be funny, but it just showed what people have been thinking all the time. Because there's no way that you heard an announcement a week later, you just thought to do that. You've been waiting to do that. That's like a genetic memory thing. All your life, you've been waiting to relive the good old days. Make America great again.
All right, you keep yapping. I don't mean to say yapping, but
no, I got you. I'm just keeping it going, but definitely.
So crazy. Why does it do this? Like, I don't understand. I just touched it. Why does it do this?
At the time of the Temple thing, the ICE officers, the quote was in Fox 29, the impersonation of any law enforcement officer is not only dangerous, but illegal, and imposters may be charged. So I thought they have started charging people, but it also gives a lot of justification to what I'm saying. If you approach me with a mask on and you don't identify yourself as a law enforcement officer, then you can expect me to exercise my Second Amendment right. Because if you're not going to tell me who you are, and you try to kidnap me, and you try to seize me and search me, and no. Please, that spirit we were talking about a few weeks ago of Martin Delaney or Malcolm X, that spirit of the Black Panther Party for self-defense. We need a resurgence of all those type of groups and that mentality in these streets. Sisters, get your pepper spray. We're gonna, brush up on your martial arts, at least to be able to throw a jab and take some boxing courses, right? Just to get somebody off you, because that's the main thing you're trying to do. You're not trying to win a tournament. You're not trying to break bricks. But sometimes you want to at least develop the mentality that if somebody puts their hands on you, I think it was Malcolm X that said, we're peaceful with everybody that's peaceful with us. But if somebody puts their hands on you, to paraphrase, send them to the cemetery. Just quoting Malcolm, the paraphrasing Malcolm. We're peaceful, we're nonviolent when anybody was nonviolent with us. But if somebody puts their hands on you, you send them to the cemetery. And I think that's the age that we are in. I think it was the prophetess Sister Soldier who said, we are at war, right? That's a slavery. That oh man, we can't play videos because we probably get demonetized and, cited and flagged and all that. But a good video that people should be watching right now that people never thought could come true or be as relevant is Sister Soldier, who had a song called Slavery's Back in Effect. Sister Soldier, Slavery's Back in Effect. Maybe I can put that up for the lyrics as well. But I think that'd be a great Sister Soldier, slaves. And I know there's a lot of people listening now who probably remember when it first came out. But Slavery's Back in Effect. I'm gonna get the lyrics and the year. I think it was, I want to say 89, but that'd be crazy. 92. Okay, I mean, it's still crazy. 1992. And the album was called The Final Solution. And her song was called Slavery's Back in Effect. And the video starts with a broadcast that talks about, it says, "Good evening, America. This is your president. Please listen carefully to the announcement I'm about to make. After careful consideration and research, Vice President Duke," remember David Duke, the Klansman, was running for president back then. "Vice President Duke, Congress, and myself have concluded that Black people have not advanced technologically. Their educational testing scores are on a rapid decline. The vast majority of them are on welfare and producing babies at a faster rate than they can support them. We will not carry them anymore. We are left with no choice but to put slavery back into effect." This is Sister Soldier, the intro to her song, Slavery's Back in Effect, from 1992. 1992, 30 plus years ago. "The only Blacks excused will be those serving in the all Blacks will report to the designated camps in their area to receive further orders. The only Blacks excused will be those serving in the United States military and the police. Any Blacks who do not cooperate will be terminated immediately. I repeat, slavery is back in effect." But y'all called us conspiracy theorists. Y'all called us militant Blacks. Y'all said we was doing too much and we needed to be more like y'all. Y'all said we needed teaching licenses and badges and everything else. No offense, but I remember as a rebel, everybody telling me. I didn't tell the teachers they were crazy. I didn't even tell the police officers they were crazy. But man, oh man, when you wanted to be somebody who stood for the people back in them days, oh man, they was getting on you. It was about the what do they call it? The Buppies, black, urban, upperly mobile, all that professionals. You know, everybody wanted to get their money back in the late 80s, early 90s. So here we are. I'm not gonna say I told you so. I'm not gonna say we told you so. I'm not gonna say maybe you should have spent more time listening to Brother Umar Johnson and critiquing Brother Umar Johnson. I'm just gonna say we're here now together.
All right.
Will it work for the guest?
No, I don't know what the fuck to do. I can't. Let me tell you something. I'm a fragile motherfucker. Like when shit start going wrong, I get irritated to the highest level. I ain't even gonna hold you. And this happens every so often before I do the show where it goes back.
Do
to
you
the
have two cameras on your device?
No, I got the one. So now I gotta. It won't come on now, which is the craziest thing ever. Fuck it. All right. So, all right. You know what time
I
it
was saying,
is.
meantime, just lift it up so you're fully in the frame. Just for the close up, you still lift it up a little
Jones
bit.
barbecue and foot massage. Jones barbecue and
chopped
foot
off.
massage. Better come down here, get some of this shit. You like to eat. America loves to eat.
There you go. Yeah, it's still better.
All right. Let's get it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna keep playing with it real quick. Let me go to the settings one more time, see if this thing works out. God, this is crazy. Wow, it's really not. You really going? All right. Well, I look a little crazy right now, so I'm gonna try and push it back. All right. So Jay Black didn't make it because you know why? Jay Black is stubborn. Jay Black, he knows we only get on Tuesdays through Fridays, and so if I mess up Jay Black's schedule, Jay Black ain't joining. So should we give him one more text message? Should we give him one more text
I'll send
message?
him one.
Cause he not answering nothing. Text Jay Black. Jay Black ain't no fucking ID. I'm sorry, Ashabu. He gonna say, "Oh Jay, let's see if we can text him." What happened? What did I do now? I lost everybody.